Know It All listeners out there, thanks for joining us for another edition of the Know It All podcast. I'm your homie Tate, and today we're about to run through the Pittsburgh Steelers mock draft 3.0, the Big G edition. And with us for this, I got my homie Big G. We're going to get at him in just a second. But be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the places you can get our podcast and get our information. So go ahead and be sure to do that. Like this video right now. And with no further ado, we're gonna get the Big G's podcast. As it is, it's a 3-round mock. We're doing picks 17, 32, 49, and 80. And after all that, I'm gonna turn it over to Big G.
What's cracking lacking, Tate, man? So
What up, boy?
We're gonna get into this mock draft 3.0. And man, 17 is a critical pick for the Steelers, but you know, we can go either way. We can trade up or back, but there's no trades for this mock draft. So you just got to take the player for where they're at. So I ran a simulator through PFN. Is that the name?
Pro Football Network Simulator.
Pro Football Network Simulator. And here we go with the pick. At pick number 17, these are the players that's available for the Steelers to take. We have Brian Brzee out of Clemson. We have Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle, Northwestern. We have Kelee Ringo, Georgia Tech. We got Joey Porter Jr. sitting there at 17. Who do the Steelers take? I'm a big believer, just like Tate, and you build from the outside in if you want to build a champion. I know that there's some pedigree for Joey Porter Jr., but at the pick, I pick Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle, Northwestern University. I think the kid fits what we're trying to do in Pittsburgh. 6'4", 313. You plug him in at left tackle, and he starts from day one for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know people have been talking about how short his arms and all whatever else. My man Tate done sat down on the film on it. This kid's a technician. He's going to get in there and handle his business, and Pickett ain't going to have to worry about nothing coming from that side for 10 years. So I like Skoronski as that pick. Tate, how you feel on my man going at 17 for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think that's a good pick, man. Definitely a good pick, a position of need. I mean, would have had to, for me, for you, your pick would have had to be between him and Joey Porter Jr. So I understand taking the left tackle. You potentially got his 10-year starter right there, and he's already a sound technician. His blocking skills, pass blocking skills, are up on a professional level already because he's just a technician. The guy that came out of Northwestern a few years ago and went to the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
They played together. That kid is real good too. So you got somebody protecting Kenny Pickett's blind side for the next 10 years. I like the pick.
Yeah, for sure. I'm digging that pick, man. Hey, so we move on. We press forward to pick number 32. Which is really a first-round draft pick because there's only 31 picks going on day one by default because the Miami Dolphins was on some trip stuff. So we got a pick that me and Tate have talked about on multiple shows, including on the Homies Network, on Steel Curtain Network, on Fans First, about that's really every team in the NFL is going to make a call after all the lights and the cameras go off for that number 32 pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we could get value with trade. But I think we're going to stick with the pick. And for this simulator, we're staying with the pick. So these are the players that we have available at pick number 32. I'm going to start it off with Dalton Kincaid, tight end out of Utah. Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. Josh Downs, wide receiver, North Carolina. Darnell Washington, tight end out of Georgia. That's just to name a few, including Drew Sanders, the linebacker out of Arkansas. So there's some players. And my favorite player, one of my all-time favorite players in this draft, and I hope we get him later on, is Jack Campbell out of Iowa. So I'm looking at the pick, and I even scanned down, and I saw a name I didn't even think I was going to see. Osiris Torrance, offensive guard, Florida. Wow. There are players available at that 32. So I'm saying, hey, we got Pickett, we got Pickens, we got, for now, Deontay Johnson, we got Freiermuth, we got Baby Boy coming from Memphis. Let's get my man Pickett another offensive weapon. I'm going with Dalton Kincaid, tight end, Utah, for the 32nd overall pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, to be able to push the ball down the field and run a disguised 11/12 personnel for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tate, what you thinking about that pick for us?
I like Dalton Kincaid, man, as a tight end. He's tight end out of Utah, right?
Yeah.
Great pass receiving tight end. I don't know, though, if the Steelers go tight end with this pick. I think Darnell Washington would have been the move, just because he's another potential weapon and a blocker in the run game, which we're going to lean heavy on this year is that run game. So I like the talent of the player. I like the position. I just would have went with a different guy. He's more of a pass catcher, vertical threat. I think you get the same thing. Maybe not as great a pass catcher right now, but what Darnell Washington can develop into with his already NFL ready blocking, I probably would have went with Darnell Washington. But I understand the pick of Kincaid.
Got it. For sure. I looked at the talent on the field, and I just want a guy that can push it up. But I'm loving Washington, and I could add a coin flip for either one of those guys at 32. Hey, so we're going to press forward to pick number 49 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is our second round pick. I ran the simulator. This is what we're sitting at. Kaiji Kancey, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh. Cedric Tillman, wide receiver, University of Tennessee. Will McDonald, edge rusher, Iowa State University. DJ Turner, cornerback, super fast from University of Michigan. And Ika, the defensive tackle out of Baylor, who most people have had him sticking with Pittsburgh at that pick anyway. I'm looking around. I'm looking on the board. I'm seeing what's there. I got to go with a defensive player, and I'm going to go with the homegrown crowd with Kancey at pick number 49 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Defensive tackle out of the University of Pittsburgh. He's a mauler. He's an inside guy. But Tate, run it down. What you think about this kid?
I like Kancey a lot. He's from right there in the building at Pitt, right next door. So I know the brass at Pittsburgh and upper management know the guy.
Yeah.
I love him as a player. I believe was ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
So he's a beast. Again, with this pick, great talent, great player. Just don't know about the fit.
Yeah.
He's like 6 foot 285, 290. So, and he plays nose tackle. So he can't get away with that in that weight in the NFL. Now, I've been hearing a lot of chatter this week that the Steelers could potentially be transitioning from a 3-4 to a 4-3.
Heard that too.
In a 4-3, that makes a huge difference. He fits in the 4-3.
Yeah, for sure.
You put him in as one of the interior defensive tackles in a 4-3 with Cam and Larry Owen on the edges.
Yeah.
With Alex Highsmith and TJ behind them. Then you got an ultimate pass rush with that. Yeah. You got Hayward, you got Larry Owen on one side, you got your boy Kalijah Kancey coming up the middle with another D tackle. It could be more of a run stuff and defensive tackle with that position. With your linebackers, Holcomb, the kid from Miami, and cleaning up the middle. If they got a 4-3, they should stay clean all the time.
For sure.
So I like the pick if the plan is to change to a 4-3. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
This guy went to Pitt. He's been compared, probably only because he went to Pitt, but also ACC Defensive Player of the Year to Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
He won't be no Aaron Donald, but he could definitely be a disruptive force coming up the middle in a 4-3 system.
Yeah.
So I like the pick if we change to a 4-3, definitely.
Yeah. And I'll take a poor man's Aaron Donald all day and night. I don't care.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll take it. So, hey, look, we're going to move forward, and we're going to go to that pick number 80. Now, for those that's been riding with the Pittsburgh Steelers for years, you know this is normally when Pittsburgh Steelers get value on offense at wide receiver. Every year for the past probably 15 years, Pittsburgh looks around that third, fourth round to draft a wide receiver. So I looked across the board, and I said, okay, what's available out there in the fourth round for Pittsburgh at wide receiver? You have wide receiver Butte at LSU, wide receiver Nebraska from wide receiver Palmer from Nebraska, A.T. Perry from Wake Forest, which got a lot of love through the pre-draft process in Pittsburgh. And I said, I like them. They all right, So I looked over at the defense, and I was like, okay, we need a guy to go opposite P at the cornerback. So I looked, and the first name that popped up on my board was cornerback Julius Brents from Kansas State University. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 80th pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we run the card to the podium as fast as we possibly can with super Speedy Gonzalez speed. Julius Brents, cornerback, Kansas State, at the 80th pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tate, talk to me. What we doing with that 80 pick for Pittsburgh?
Wow. Well, as far as your draft goes, if you get Julius Brents at pick 80, that's incredible value. And I'm completely 100% agree with you. And for that pick right there alone, that's an A-plus pick at pick 80. I would have maybe considered him at 49.
Yeah.
Depending on what's going on. For you to get him at 80 is a heck of a steal, heck of a pick. I couldn't have made a better. I don't even know who else was all there. I couldn't have made a better pick. Not even knowing who else is there. I couldn't have made a better pick than Julius Brents at pick 80.
Yeah. Hey man, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does, we getting victories in Steel Country, man. We getting victories in Steel Country.
So to review your draft, you got Skoronski, Kincaid,
yeah,
Kalijah Cansey,
yes sir,
and Julius Brents.
Those are the four picks.
I love the picks. I love your final two more than the first two. First two is great players, but I just love the second two, especially if they change to a 4-3 defense.
Yeah. I think with that draft, I think Pittsburgh can, based on development, have a super bright future moving forward and challenge for the division this year. But I love, Tate, your draft too. So, we're going to do the comparison thing and tell the people a little bit about what we're going to do with these two mock drafts.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to get them up and running on the KnoItAll channel. So be sure to check them out, like and subscribe, like I said, to the KnoItAll channel. We're available obviously on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter, Instagram. Just check it out in all the places. Me and Big G and Mod also got a lot of stuff going. We all members of the Fans First Sports Network. Me and Big G got a show on the Steel Curtain Network called The Homies. Comes on every Friday night at 8 o'clock. We also do a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast called That's Rather Cavalier. It's available on YouTube on the KnoItAll channel. But be sure to download again every place you get your audio podcast, whether that be Spotify, whether that be Stitcher, wherever you get your iHeartRadio, wherever you get your audio podcast. Mod has a podcast, the DC for Life, Dallas Cowboy Global Network, where he does a Dallas Cowboy. He runs that channel, so be sure to check that out, like and subscribe those. It's on YouTube on the KnoItAllz channel, but also on all those other audio formats that I just mentioned. So be sure to like those. And that's basically what we got going on. What we're going to show you now before we get out of here is just a small portion of a KnoItAll advertisement. Check it out. And until next time, for Ma in the background, handling the ones and twos on the production, Tate and Big G signing out.
Hey.
Peace.